Welcome back to Asking for a Friend. I'm Bethany Silvis, Marketing Supervisor.
And I'm Lori Lutweiler, Director of People Operations.
Today's guest is Jaiden. Jaiden, do you want to tell us about yourself?
Yes. So my name is Jaiden. I am from Sarasota, Florida. I've lived here since I was about 10 years old. So
basically a native.
Basically, yeah. Went to Riverview High School. That's where I took my first high school accounting class. That was my intro to it. I went to FSU for my bachelor's in accounting. So I love the Seminoles, love Seminoles football. I love singing too. I also got a BA in music at Florida State University.
Excellent.
And the beaches here are one of my favorites.
As they are for everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a big draw.
Do you have a specific beach that you like going to?
I do Siesta, Main Beach, just because it's easier. I live pretty close to there, so
Very nice.
Siesta's also my first choice.
And see, I'm a Lido.
Lido. Yeah. I have trouble finding parking there.
Okay, so our trick is we go right at like 8 a.m. That's when we arrive.
Yeah.
And it is a lovely time because we always get really super close parking.
See, I don't do that. I go at like 11,
Yeah,
which is the worst time possible.
Even at Siesta, that's kind of a dangerous game to play.
Oh, it is.
You can be circling for a minute.
Oh, I have done that, yeah.
I am like a 8:30, 9 a.m. arrival, so and even that, I just don't like the hassle. I'm very particular about the parking lot I like to be in. You mentioned singing. Is there a certain type of music you like to sing?
So I was trained in classical music. I sing it for fun, just at home sometimes, but also I've gotten into worship music. So back in college at FSU, I was able to sing at the church.
Okay.
So it was like a totally different style of music.
Of course.
And then, back in high school, I was in choir for like so many years. So really, I've been all over the place.
Okay, excellent. Do you sing anywhere now or just to yourself?
Not now. I'm actually getting married in a week and a half.
So exciting.
So I have kind of taken a break from a lot of things right now because
wedding planning.
Wedding planning, yes, that has really done a number on everything.
Are there any fun wedding details you can share with us?
Yeah, so we're getting married at, it's called Ever After Farms Flower Barn. It's in Seffner, Florida, about an hour away from here.
Okay.
It'll be an outdoor ceremony, which, we're praying that there's no hurricanes or anything.
Right. All the weather is
September
good.
1st.
There you go.
So, September 1st, I know we've talked about this, that's actually my anniversary date as well. So, it's a great day to get married
That's
on.
a perfect date.
So Lori had her reception, was it?
Yes.
At a baseball field.
Yes.
So, in case you were wondering.
So, my husband is a huge baseball fanatic, and so our first trip that him and I ever took was to the Atlanta Braves Stadium. And so, with that, we decided that we wanted that to be where we got married. So, we found a tiny little church that we didn't see for the first time until literally our rehearsal the night before.
Oh, perfect.
Yep, just pictures online. Unfortunately, no horror stories there. It turned out good. And then our reception was at the Braves Stadium, their new field, and it was really awesome. We rented out a suite. It was really small. We only had about like 35 people there.
Wow.
So it was a really, really good time. Literally at the end, there's pictures of us on the Jumbotron, and then they had fireworks. So it was really kind of cool and unique experience. I still have people tell us 6 years later that it's their favorite wedding that they've been to.
Wow. Yeah, that's so unique. I've never heard of anything like that.
You'll have to ask Lori behind the scenes to show you a picture of her wedding dress at the stadium with cake in her hand. Just carrying a giant cake.
I feel like that's now getting in the video.
Yeah, we might have to upload a picture
I
of
need
that.
to see this.
Yes. Oh, well, we're really excited for you. That's a fun time. So you've probably spent quite a bit of time planning these last little
I
bit.
bet, yeah,
Yes.
definitely. But, we're getting the details down.
Yes.
Somehow this past weekend, our list of things to do got longer, which
Of course.
is no fun, but I guess it's a good sign.
Right.
It means we're really hitting everything.
Yeah, you're running up against the clock there.
Yeah.
When they have to be done.
Yep.
So, we can't wait to see pictures of it. You'll have to share.
So exciting.
So, Jaiden, you started with us as an intern. Can you talk to us about your journey and your experience at KB so far?
Yeah, so ever since the start, it's been a really fun journey. There's been fun events ever since I started over there in Estate and Trust. I remember we did one of those carts that come by, and it was
Goodie
like
carts.
snacks. The goodie carts,
Yeah.
yes, goodie carts with snacks and prizes, and I got like a Domino's gift card, I think.
Nice. Okay.
But yeah, everyone was super nice over there, and the work that I did over there was different to what I'm doing now, and the softwares too. We don't actually use any of those softwares over in audit, but the culture is definitely the same. The people are just as welcoming, just as nice, and yeah, I got to shadow the audit team while I was still in my internship for the estate and trust, which was really nice. I got to have an intro view to that.
I remember Jared setting that all up and how excited he was to get everything planned, because I think we knew that you were super interested in more of the audit side. Even though you were doing the tax internship with us, we knew that that was your passion, and we wanted to make sure that we were able to accommodate that and give you the experience and make sure you had that opportunity available for you.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, you were trying to choose between KB and somewhere else.
I was. So
what, obviously you chose us, and we're so happy to have you here. What kind of helped you make that decision for yourself there?
So one of the big things there was the other firm that I would have been working with would have been in Tampa, which I live in Sarasota. I knew that I was a little crazy for trying to do that in the first place, because I don't want to drive to Tampa every day, really. I know some people do it. That was one of the big things. And another big thing about KB is that I know a lot of the clients that we work on, which is a really huge plus for me. It was going to be a bigger company, and even though those are bigger clients I would have worked on, I felt like I didn't have as much of a connection with those companies because I've grown up in this area. I know these clients, you know. Yeah.
That's kind of an interesting perspective of being able to have that connection, and makes it feel a little bit more personal. So I like that. Thanks for sharing that with us.
Somebody shared with me a little while ago that kind of that same view of, I like driving down the street and seeing like, oh, I work with them, or I get to see them. And with all the nonprofits, especially with audit, you guys get to see a lot of nonprofits as well, and being a little bit more involved. So that's great.
I saw two just yesterday driving down the road.
So there you go. Yeah,
That's fun.
Oh, that's a fun connection.
So you mentioned in high school you took your first accounting class when you were in high school. Tell us more about what really got you interested in working in accounting.
Yeah, so that was my first ever experience into accounting. I never had any family or anything that did accounting, really. So it was just an idea, honestly, and I knew I had always loved math as a child. I was like so excited about it. My mom has a picture of, it was like one of those, you're in kindergarten or something. It's like, what's your favorite subject? I put math with an exclamation point and a heart on it.
Oh, like you were.
I really loved it. Yeah. So that was a big draw into it. I kind of just went for it in college. I figured it's a very safe career path. I didn't really know what to expect, and it was definitely more difficult than I anticipated, but I decided to stick it out, and I figured I could end up somewhere I really enjoy. And so I ended up choosing audit. It's really, I feel like at college it's in between tax and audit, and they're both great, but yeah.
What do you like more about audit?
Probably learning more about how different organizations operate. I think I get more of a holistic view of what these companies do, and especially we've also gotten to work on employee benefit plan audits and nonprofit audits. So that's been really cool, doing my research on the clients before we start working on them and seeing what they do and reading their mission statements and all of that. I really like working with the Excel sheets. That's huge in audit. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. A lot of times we hear people say in audit that they like to be kind of a detective and just make sure that everything works itself out or how it's supposed to, and kind of follow the steps. And I mean, you see some of that in tax, but I think audit capitalizes on it a little bit more.
Definitely. When you get those variances, you are really trying to get to the bottom of it. Like, well, I'm missing
what is
something.
happening?
What is it?
Yes.
It's fun. Yeah.
So you have to have that like mindset, that detective brain. I like it.
So one of the things that we like to ask is a superpower. What is your superpower?
So I think my non-KB friends would say that Excel is my superpower, but being at KB, I disagree with that because everyone around me is so skilled at Excel. And I'm like, wow, I'm actually slacking, and there's so much I can improve on. But I would say my well-roundedness, being that I've worked in a lot of different accounting areas. I've worked in individual tax, business tax, consulting at one point, accounts payable, accounts receivable focused accounting assistant position at one point, and then estate and trust, obviously, and then now audit. So
Really interesting. You've really touched a lot of different things.
It's
so
a lot, yeah, a lot of
that's
big
great.
areas. Yeah, I tried to work as much as I could in college, still part-time, but I just really wanted to nail down what exactly I wanted to do.
I love that. And that's audit? Is that has
Yeah.
your heart?
I think so.
So, hearing a little bit more about how you've kind of intentionally gotten all of those experiences, is that something that you would suggest other people who are, maybe going to school or trying to figure out which area they're excited about accounting?
Absolutely. It's definitely a lot trying to work that much when you're in college. You're very busy, but I would highly recommend it just to kind of get your feet in the waters and test it out, see what you like, what you don't like. Yeah, and you can even start that in high school, really. I was able to do a volunteer position at another local accounting firm in Sarasota, a way smaller firm. Yeah, just getting that experience early on and kind of gives you a better idea of what to expect.
Oh, that's really awesome.
It's really interesting. So you've really been on the accounting track for a minute.
I have.
But I love the idea of kind of being so open-minded that you're willing to try so many different areas, and you didn't just go into it and be like, okay, I want to do this, or I think I want to do this, because nobody really knows until you get in there. So being able to kind of bounce around and see what you like, and that's really cool. I love
And
that.
that's one of the cool things about accounting. Like, there's so many ways you can go. Not even this. You can be a forensic accountant. You can be an IRS officer.
Right.
It's crazy, like the endless opportunities.
We went to the YP Summit today, and I was talking to a couple of people about how accounting is one of those really fun industries that you get to work with so many other industries. Like, you're not really pigeonholed. Like, you get to work with construction and nonprofits and all sorts of different things. So
Exactly.
I think that's kind of cool. You get to touch a lot of different spaces.
So now we've kind of made it to the point where you get to ask us anything that you would like to ask.
Perfect. I have questions for both of you.
I love that.
Okay, so first I will ask you.
Okay.
I want to hear about how you got into human resources
Oh,
and
okay.
any highlights that you've had since you recently got promoted to Director of People Operations. I
Yes.
believe. Yeah.
Wonderful. I love this question. Thank you. So I got into HR. So I used to do retail and restaurant management. So when I came out of college, my degree was in English. And so I was like, what do you do with a BA in English? And here I am. But I started doing restaurant and retail management, and I was really good at hiring people. Like, I just had a knack for staffing my stores and always had great teams. And when I tried to make the shift out of it, I was like, what am I going to do? I ended up started working at a recruiting agency, and I was cold calling candidates and talking to candidates, and my full-time job was recruiting accountants for a healthcare system in California. And so I did that for a few years and made my way into human resources at school districts. And I did that for a few years, and then that's kind of how I got here.
Wow.
And then, so that was a fun time. I
So
enjoyed
was that hiring teachers? Maybe?
Yeah, hiring teachers, doing job fairs. I used to host huge job fairs when I was living up in Tampa. The most people I had at one of my job fairs was 850 people.
Ooh.
Yeah, we filled a lot of
Big
jobs
crowd.
that day. So it was really cool being able to make the connections and help people. I think that's where HR and people operations really always comes back to for me, is helping people. And then at KB, earlier this year, I got promoted to Director of People Operations. And as a part of that, I'm overseeing learning and development. And so that's really cool addition that we've had over the past year. Also the operations and facility staff, helping with the move, partnering with people here internally on that too. So that's been some of the cool stuff that I've been doing now and kind of helping with, and always focusing on culture and trying to continue to improve KB and just make it a great place for the people who are here, and continuing to be better for the people who will join us in the future.
I think that's part of Lori's superpower, is a lot of people look at HR or people ops and are like, ugh, compliance, or you don't want to go
Right.
to HR, but
Scary.
exactly. But in reality, she's literally here to help us and make us better, and just wants the best for all of us. So I think that's her superpower.
I appreciate that, because my internal philosophy is be better. That's the one goal that I always have, is striving to be better, because I believe that like small little things can make you better every day, and kind of like the atomic habits. If you keep doing something
100%.
small and with that intentional focus, you will see strides. And so thank you. I appreciate that. That was really kind of you to say.
Of course.
Okay.
Now Bethany's
Oh,
turn.
I'm on the hot seat now.
Okay, so what is your favorite thing about your marketing career, or do you have a favorite event that you've planned?
Oh boy.
Flipping it. That's a real
Completely.
reverse.
That is. Uno reverse. Okay. So, I would say this year, my events always change because it's always something different. But I think year to date, as chaotic as it was, I think the Office Olympics was probably my favorite event that we hosted.
Yeah.
There was just so many moving pieces, and it was fun to see everybody up, and it was something new that we haven't done before. So, of course, there was the learning curves and what we can do better for next year or future years. But I think that was my favorite to date. As far as favorite in marketing, I love, this is a loaded question. It goes back to people as well. I love the business development part of it. So I love helping our team make connections or see how they can make connections and help developing talking points or strategy around that and to help build their niche up. So I like to be the biggest cheerleader behind the scenes of a lot of things. So I think that's probably my favorite part. I also like doing that for our client experience. So there's a lot of pieces that happen behind the scenes with that as well. So being the cheerleader.
Yeah, I love it.
All right.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Feel like we have to pause really quick and touch on something that the three of us share.
Yes.
Which is a love for Pilates. And we also attend the same studio, but the same club of Pilates, and we love it. So I would love to just ask an off-the-wall question of how did you get into Pilates?
So that's a good question, and I'm not even sure that I can answer that. I think it was more so my friend always convinces me to get into random stuff like that.
Fair.
And I've heard it becoming very popular recently, and so I've tried the gym, I've tried cardio outside, and sometimes I just don't want to do it, and I don't like having to come up with the workouts myself.
Same. I'm the same way.
I like the structured class. Yeah. You don't have to think. And I tried out. I went to the intro class and I loved it. I was like, this is for me.
Yes.
So I am that friend who convinces people that they need to do Pilates because one of my friends convinced me, and then from there on, I pretty much have told every person like you need to join Pilates, and that's how.
She strong-armed me into it and basically would not be my friend anymore until we were doing our 7-minute walk, and the entire 7 minutes was, have you signed up? She's like, we're not going upstairs until you download the app. Like, she was pulling it all up. So it has changed the game completely.
It has changed the game. And it's so good for your posture, too. And just getting some movement after you're kind of sitting down all day. Oh, I love it.
Yes.
And so I have done other things. Like, I did Orange Theory for a really long time, and that did not give me as much joy. And then one of my friends, she was explaining it to me, and I'm like, you can lay down. You're laying down. She's like, yes, but it's still work. And I'm like,
exactly. And it's true. It's true. Yeah. It's like you can make it easy or hard up to what you want. Yeah.
Yeah. So like the more kind of in tune you are with your body and the more intention you put into it, the harder it is.
Yes. And it's different. Every class is so, even if the same movements are taking place, it's still a different experience. But Lori convinced me, she goes, you're compliance driven. You lay there, they tell you what to do. You don't have to think.
Exactly. No thinking. Turn off the brain after a long day.
Yes. And those stretches, like every part of it, it just like makes me a better person. And I just love sitting, like, after a long day of work, I'm like, oh, I have Pilates tonight. Like, it just brings all the joy. And it's 50 minutes of just me. So.
Or going at 7 a.m. I know it's early, but I notice when I do it in the mornings, it really gets my blood flowing for the day.
Okay.
It really starts the day off well.
I don't know that I am that morning person.
I'm not either.
You have to try it. You have to.
I do mornings on the weekends. Like, I'll do an 8 a.m. class on the weekend. Yes, but for work-wise, I go on my remote days, so I can be at that 5:30 class, so it works nicely. But I love that you can work it in to your mornings. How many days a week are you going?
About 3.
Okay. Yeah, that's great.
I think I could do more, but yeah.
3 is a lot.
Yeah.
So that's good.
So, on the audit team, what does workplace flexibility look like, and how do you work in going to clients with that?
Yes, it's very flexible team. During our busy season, we go out to the client sites pretty frequently. Sometimes it's the full week. Usually it's just a couple days during the week. And then during our slower times, it's a lot more flexible. We can kind of work from home more. We have flexible summer hours. We can put in all of our hours in between Monday and Thursday, and then have Fridays off if we choose, which has been really nice. And I definitely took advantage of that a couple times. Something really fun that happened this summer was that I got to go to Scotland and work remotely. And I wouldn't have gotten to do that because, like I said, I'm getting married, and so I've basically used all my vacation already. So I talked to my leader about that, and he was completely on board. He was so excited for me. We were able to work it out with all the software technology issues, and yeah, it was amazing.
That's awesome. I love how many people have taken a part of our workplace flexibility policy that allows employees to work internationally. And so it's cool for like a little short period of time to be able to go somewhere else, still work, spend time adventuring, but still get your work done and not need to use a ton of PTO. So that's really cool. I'm glad you got a chance to take advantage of that. And so what else did you do while you were in Scotland?
Oh man, we went, so I think we were only there for like 5 days or so, but we were able to do all the Scotland things, and then over the weekend, while I didn't have to work, we were able to go to London.
Oh, wow.
Just flew on over.
Because why not?
Why not? Exactly. It's so cheap over there. But it was incredible. I've never been to the UK at all, so
Awesome.
just tried all the new things, all the new food and sightseeing.
Very cool. I appreciate you sharing that. And so, random question: what's your honeymoon going to be?
Oh yeah, so we're going to Hawaii. We're doing the island of Kauai.
Oh,
Okay.
beautiful. Oh, I love
So
that.
excited.
Are
Yeah.
you going for a
Awesome.
week?
I think a week and a half.
Oh,
Wow.
so
Yeah.
good.
Yep.
So good.
So,
My brother used to live in Hawaii when he was in the military, and apparently, I can fact check this for you, but there's a tour you can take on a boat to see all of the fun pineapple places. Like, you can go by the farm, and you can do
I'd
all
love
of
to do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll find out the information because it's part of like
Please.
this whole experience. But you get on a boat, and it's like an 8-hour tour.
Wow,
You
that's
hit a couple
cool.
islands,
Activity.
and yeah, it's an activity.
That sounds lovely.
I'll get the details for you.
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
I wanted to just touch on really quickly, part of our conversations this morning were being bold in conversation and how some people don't necessarily take advantage of that. But it sounds like you had a bold conversation when you went to your team lead and just said, hey, I want to go to Scotland. Like, how can I work that into day-to-day life? What, do you have a lot of conversations like that, or can you share your experience and feeling that you could do that?
I don't know that I necessarily have a lot, but I would feel comfortable doing it again when something like that did come up. The team has made me feel really comfortable to be able to do so. I think it's kind of the connections that we've all built with one another, and the team events that we've done have really helped with that, just allowing us all to socialize with one another, really get to know each other. Something really fun that our team does too is like we all eat lunch together in the same room.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So I always feel comfortable doing that. I mean, it is a little nerve-wracking. It's always going to be going to higher ups with anything, honestly, but the more I'm here, the more comfortable I feel.
No, that's great. And you touched on doing fun activities. I know the audit team loves to go out and do things after hours or happy hours and things like that. Is there an event that you guys have had recently that you really enjoyed?
Yeah, so I actually just joined the audit team's event planning committee.
Oh,
It sounds very official, but it's not. It's such an informal thing. Yeah, so we just planned Motorworks Brewing Company, an event there. That was really great. It was outdoors. It was a little hot outside. That was our bad, but we had games there. We had like giant Jenga and Connect. It was a huge game of Connect 4. It wasn't even just Connect 4. It was huge. And then cornhole there as well.
Okay.
And then last December we did. It was a
Nailed
painting.
it?
Yeah, nailed it.
Nailed it.
Painting, kind of decorating Christmas decorations.
That's
yeah,
fun.
that was really fun as well.
Oh, I love that. All right. Well, thank you for joining us today, Jaiden. We really appreciated getting to know you a little bit more, and we're so excited about your upcoming wedding, and we cannot wait to hear and see pictures of all the things.
Yes, thank you guys, and thanks for answering my questions as well.
Of course,
I
we
loved hearing those.
appreciate, we appreciate when everyone brings questions.
Yes.